Well, that little shitpost aside, who knew that I would hear about a fourth anime battle simulator so soon? Like, not even a week into the Legible Games review. Hello there, and if you're wondering how come this goofy ass bot is commenting on your anime battle simulator, check out the playlist in my channel. The very first video has almost all the context, has cards, so you can head over there if you want to see that. Oh, I do have to admit, Magic Studios' version is the most true to the idea of a true simulator. Take that for what it's worth. Could be bad, could be really good, all depends on perspective. Okay, ITHNK, we should get into the review now. So, what is Magic Studios' anime battle simulator? Well, a simulator, that's for sure, Point said almost immediately. If you could probably guess the main gameplay loop, it's punching things until they die to get more pets to progress faster. You ever play a simulator before? That's basically every single one. Oh, it's a mix of player combat and pet combat just like Legible Games version. Except, because there's nothing preventing you from going after to watch something else, as the opponents don't fight back, or nothing really feels kinetic gameplay-wise. After a while, it really begins to fall flat on its face. In its own, not comparing it to anything else, it's one of those games that, after you get your first pet, it isn't fun anymore. You know how in some games, the shallow feeling is at least probably me being extremely picky? Not with this game. May I ask what's so fun about watching the pets do everything? At that point, it doesn't feel like you're participating in an anime battle, which I'd say is the point of a game named Anime Battle Simulator. Just reenacting that one Metal Gear Rising meme. You ask me, the gameplay feels more like a game that would be called Anime Companion Simulator. I did get a chuckle out of some of the sound effects chosen, so it does win the funny award. Speaking of which, the companions, or pets, are pretty well scripted and I do enjoy them having unique abilities and Pokemon attributes to them. However, there needs to be a system where it'd feel rewarding, other than pulling them, to use them. For that, I can actually give some interesting advice. You could obviously have the opponents fight back, that's the easiest solution. I haven't gotten to a proper boss yet so I don't know if that's a thing for the bosses, but make it on every single one of them. That would instantly add to the feel of the game, and given how it seems like on the group, there's not many devs, I feel like that'd be the most reasonable advice. Or, if you really wanted to make your game stand out, have it so you engage the opponent in an interrupted combat, where the companions remain the same, but you have a few inputs you could do to have your companions do cool team attacks with you. Trust me, the game could be really awesome, and I know I didn't give this advice last time, but that was because Legible Games take stood out, and I'm sure that this can be. Either that or keep it the exact same but change the name so the companion emphasis is there instead. Honestly, any of those three. But for now, since the gameplay is a snore, I'll have to give it a low score. Now, the builds are average and feel like placeholders, which is completely fine, and the HUD looks neat. But I feel like most of the time, having no faces doesn't really add to much, except it's not consistent, because Frieza has a face and looks better than a lot of the models because of it. Some skills in the companions aren't animated. Also Namek looks a bit too green at times. Of course, there's the issue that summon prices aren't, as listed, which is cool, but it should be cleaned up to show the proper soul price. I can imagine some players getting confused and grinding too much. The letterboards appear to be acting funny as well. Overall, it's an offensive and average, middle score. I'm going to skim through this, since it's pretty similar to Legible Games version so almost everything applies, except there's no character locks behind a paywall, so that's already a huge improvement, and they do actually give you the ability to raise the rates of getting a character. Though this game has its own problems as well, such as potions only lasting 2 or 3 minutes or that it follows standard simulator money-making protocol. So, with a heavy hand, I'm going to have to give this 30 cents higher than Legible Games version. Still horrendous monetary milking, but it's better. Now for social media plugs. Now see, this is what I'm talking about. These guys know not to artificially grow their crap. Instant 7 out of 10, keep up the good work. I think we kind of all saw this coming, but a 2.3 out of 10 is my final rating. Unfortunately there's no real reason to play this over any other standard simulator, being that it is so painfully average. And I hate to be mean here, but being second last in a subcategory of games called Anime Battle Simulator isn't exactly a good thing. And I don't really blame anyone for that. Having to compete with 3 different similarly named titles, 2 of which doing similar things, is hard, especially if you've never heard of them. But I can assure you, this game can turn out great. It just needs more polish, more defining features, and maybe think about where players are going to get the majority of their fun from. Then worry about microtransactions later.